enjoyed your meal. Perhaps you're still enjoying it. I thought it was great. First, I want to take a moment to welcome those of you who are joining us online. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you'll enjoy today's ceremony. Now let's get started. We have a great program for you this evening, and I will start by acknowledging some special guests that we have here with us tonight. First of all, Interim Provost Terry Martin and his wife Teresa, Charles Zimmerman and his wife Susan in the back, and John Miller and his wife Natasha. Thank you all for joining us. Now, let's give them an applause. Now, please help me in recognizing the impactful work of our associate deans and unit leaders who were able to be with us here tonight. And when I call your name, I'd appreciate it if you would stand. First of all, Kevin Hall, Associate Dean for Academics. Bill Lansden, Senior Director of Development and External Relations. Raj Rao, Department Head of Biomedical Engineering. Krista Hestekin, Associate Department Head of the Ralph E. Martin Department of Chemical Engineering. Micah Hale, Department Head of Civil Engineering. Jia Di, Department Head of Computer Science and Computer Engineering. Juan Balda, Department Head of Electrical Engineering. Ed Pohl, Department Head of Industrial Engineering. And Greg Parnell, MS Operations Management Director, MS Engineering Management Director, and Professor of Practice. These key members of our leadership team have taken on extra responsibility of making sure that things run smoothly in our college. And they take great care of our students and make sure that our faculty and staff have what they need. So let's give them one final round of applause, please. Now, could I invite John Miller to join me on stage, please? John Miller is chair of our Early Career Advisory Council and will assist me with presenting these awards. John has 2 degrees from the University of Arkansas, a bachelor's and a master's degree in industrial engineering. John recently started a new job as principal product manager for Walmart. Congratulations on your new role, John, and thank you for hosting tonight's ceremony with me. Before we announce the Early Career Award winners of 2020 and 2021, we'd like to remind you that not all of our awardees were able to make it here tonight, but their bios will be read by Richard Cassidy. Richard is a University of Arkansas professor of industrial engineering who serves as director of the first-year engineering program. Also, as a reminder, please hold your applause until all awardees have been acknowledged and refer to your program for each person's full biographical sketch.
The Early Career Award is presented to College of Engineering graduates who are doing great things in the early phases of their careers and whom we expect to see doing many more amazing things in the future. So now, Richard will announce our 2020 Early Career Award winners.
Amanda Campion Day. Amanda is an alumna of chemical engineering. She received her Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering in 2013. Amanda is the Pilot Lab Manager for L'Oreal. Esma El-Kaudi. Esma holds an electrical engineering doctorate that she completed in 2015. She is currently a principal engineer for Global Foundries US Incorporated. Stephen Head. Stephen completed his Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering in 2010 and is Principal and Geotechnical Department Head of McClelland Consulting Engineers Incorporated. Kyle Kemple. Kyle is an alumnus of industrial engineering. He received his bachelor's in industrial engineering in 2006. Kyle is Senior Director of Supply Chain Engineering for Walmart. Luke Osborne. Luke holds a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering that he completed in 2012 and is a senior researcher at Johns Hopkins University's Applied Physics Laboratory. Kyle Sliger. Kyle is an industrial engineering alumnus with a Master of Science in Operations Management degree that he completed in 2013. Kyle is now the Chief Credit Officer and Portfolio Manager for SWS Capital Management, LLC. Rusty Tate. Rusty holds 2 degrees from the Biological and Agricultural Engineering Department at the University of Arkansas, a Bachelor's in Biological Engineering, 2008, and a Master's in Environmental Engineering, 2010. Rusty is a project manager and process engineer in Garver's Water Design Center. The 2021 Early Career Awardees are Ellen Broom. Ellen is an alumna of chemical engineering. She received her Bachelor of Science degree in chemical engineering in 2009 and her Master's and Doctorate of Chemical Engineering in 2013. Ellen is the General Manager of Integrated Storage Solutions Intelligrated at Honeywell. Jenny Doyle. Jenny is a civil engineering alumna with a bachelor's and master's degree in civil engineering. Jenny is a civil engineer at Black & Veatch in Kansas City. Gage Greening. Gage has completed 2 degrees at the University of Arkansas, a bachelor's degree in 2014 and a doctorate in 2019, each in biomedical engineering. Gage is a biomedical research associate in medical technology for Enterprise Consortium. Ahmed Hassan. Ahmed holds an electrical engineering doctorate that he completed in 2010. He currently works as an associate professor at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Ahmed is also director of the multidisciplinary multi-scale electromagnetics lab. Lou Incroci. Lou completed his Master's of Science in Operations Management degree in 2012 while working as cold mill operations manager for Nucor Steel, where he has worked since 1995. Becca Leonard. Becca earned her bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from University of Arkansas in 2011 and is an associate from McKinsey & Company. James McCarty. James is a biological and agricultural engineering alumnus with 3 degrees in biological engineering, a Bachelor of Science 2006, Masters of Science 2015, and a doctorate that he completed last year in 2020. James is the Environmental Quality Manager for Beaver Water District. Jennifer Pazur. Jennifer completed both her master's and doctorate in industrial engineering at the University of Arkansas. In 2008, she completed her master's, and 3 years later, in 2011, she received her doctorate. Jennifer is now Associate Professor of Industrial and Systems Engineering for the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Tajayeshwar TJ Sangameswaran. TJ earned his Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering in 2010 and his Master of Science in Computer Science in 2014. He is the co-founder and CEO of Sapa Pike Incorporated.
John, thank you for assisting with the presentation of our Early Career Awards. Once again, I'd like to ask each of our Early Career Award recipients to stand. Let's hear it for the 2020-2021 Early Career Award recipients. These individuals make us proud every day. The first leg of their professional journeys have been incredible, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for each of them. Thanks, John. I'll start the next part of the program by introducing our next co-host, Charles Zimmerman. Charles is a 1985 civil engineering alumnus and the owner of Global VE, a consulting firm specializing in worldwide capital efficiency and value engineering services. Charles is a past vice president of design and construction at Walmart. Charles is a member of the Arkansas Academy of Civil Engineers, and in 2009 was named a distinguished alumnus of the University of Arkansas's College of Engineering. Welcome, Charles, and thank you for co-hosting with me today.
Thank you, Jeannie. I'm excited to be here celebrating our College of Engineering alumni once again. I'm even glad to see my industrial engineering friends for a change.
Next, I'd like to recognize our Engineering Advisory Council. If you're a member of the Engineering Advisory Council, could you please stand? Don't be shy, please stand. Great. These alumni and friends are devoting so much of their time and energy to help the college prepare for tomorrow and move into the future. I can't thank them enough. Please join me in a round of applause.
And now I'm going to ask our past awardees to stand. If you received the Hall of Fame Award, the Distinguished Alumni Award, or the Early Career Award, which we used to call the Young Alumni Award, could you please stand? Let's have a round of applause for the past awardees. Now I have a very special guest to introduce to you, our interim provost, Terry Martin. Terry was named interim provost by interim Chancellor Robinson earlier this year. Dr. Martin holds 3 degrees from the College of Engineering and has served the U of A since 1983 in a number of roles. He has worked as a professor of engineering, a member of the dean's staff in the College of Engineering, and most recently, senior vice provost for academic affairs. continue to support driving the U of A forward to create need-based scholarships, grow graduate programs, continue to advance diversity, and expand research and commercialization efforts. Advancing student success remains top priority as the U of A continues to roll out new programs and infrastructure designed to give students the support they need to stay on track to graduation. This includes the construction of a Student Success Center in the Harvard campus and a project known as IQ-DAR, which stands for Institute for Integrative and Innovative Research. IQ-DAR is funded by a $195 million gift from the Walton Family Charitable Support Foundation, and it will allow us to attract and hire world-class researchers and build a phenomenal research building right across Dixon Street from John A. White Hall. We're all pleased to have him here at our Alumni Awards Banquet tonight. Please give a warm welcome to Interim Provost Terry Martin.
Terry. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Charles, for the kind introduction, and thank you, Dean Needy, for the opportunity to say a few words this evening. It is always good to be back in the College of Engineering and to celebrate the accomplishments of our alumni. Congratulations to each of our award winners. As you know, the University of Arkansas is celebrating 150 years as an institution of higher learning. During that time, I think it's safe to say we have accomplished a lot to be proud of, and this evening gives us a chance to reflect with pride on the university's academic mission. Our mission is to provide access and education opportunity to students in the state of Arkansas, has always been the foundation of everything we do at the University of Arkansas. We started with 7 students and 3 faculty. This fall, the university welcomed its largest class ever. That's over 6,000 new freshmen and just over 29,000 students. And I think if you're on the faculty here, you've probably felt some of that large class this year. Our growth in students is a testament to the quality of education we offer. It is also an indication of the university's reputation as an excellent place to prepare for a meaningful career. We like to point out to prospective students that Senior Walk is engraved with the names of more than 200,000 Razorback graduates. But Senior Walk is also a reminder of the number of students this university has prepared to be active participants in their professions and the communities. In fact, just as we take pride in teaching and learning, we can all take pride in many ways that our alumni are making a difference. You don't have to look very far on this evening's program to see that tonight's awardees are impacting people's lives for the better. With this in mind, the university remains focused on helping our students succeed, both while they are here on campus and after they graduate and enter the workforce. As Charles mentioned earlier, the university is looking forward to opening the Student Success Center this January. The opening will coincide with the university's first day of classes 150 years ago. And I think it underscores the fact that our students have always been the heart of our work. The Student Success Center will host a range of student support resources, and we have designed it to encourage collaboration and connection between our students, their peers, advisors, and the faculty. We do this because we know that collaboration leads to discovery, and in many cases, discovery leads to service that makes a difference. In fact, it has always been our goal to prepare our students to use their talents to help others, wherever their careers may take them. When our students and alumni succeed, we all benefit. Of course, using our abilities to make a difference is where the College of Engineering and its alumni shine. The research being carried out by our wonderful faculty is groundbreaking and has direct benefits for our community and our state. Your research also creates educational opportunities for our students. The newly opened Grady E. Harville Civil Engineering Research and Education Center is a good example of this. This new facility paves the way for new research in civil engineering and will connect engineering students to practical learning opportunities and knowledge they will carry into their professional lives. CRAC has also demonstrated the acceleration of research happening at the University of Arkansas. We are steadily moving ahead with the Institute for Integrative and Innovative Research, and we are pleased to announce that Renu Zhang as the Institute's founding executive director recently, and we plan to begin construction as soon as possible. The IQ-DAR will position the university to be a leader in discovery and innovation, and it will amplify the efforts to serve the state of Arkansas through our research mission. IQ-DAR will also expose our students to new learning opportunities and new ideas. And I'm excited to see the IQ-DAR take shape, and I want to say thanks to everyone who is helping make this vision a reality. As we prepare to honor our distinguished alumni award winners, I want to recognize and thank everyone in the College of Engineering who makes this work possible. You who have dedicated yourselves to research and teaching future engineers, and a result of your dedication are being recognized here tonight. And to all of our award winners, congratulations again, and thank you all.
Thanks, Joe. That was great.
Thank you, Interim Provost Mark. And now we will present our Distinguished Alumni Awards. Again, we'd like to remind you that not all of our awardees were able to make it tonight, but their bios will still be read by Richard Cassidy. Also, please hold your applause until all awardees have been recognized and refer to your program for each person's full biographical sketch. The Distinguished Alumni Award honors the exceptional professional and personal achievements of the University of Arkansas College of Engineering graduates. Tonight's recipients have achieved distinction in their fields of endeavor and have provided outstanding leadership and service to the college, to their businesses, and their communities. The 2020 Distinguished Alumni Award winners are
Gregory Blair. Gregory is the Chief Information Officer at One Digital in Atlanta, Georgia. He graduated in 2001 with his Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Engineering. Blair completed his MBA at Texas Christian University and was recognized as a top CIO in the state of Georgia in 2019. He is a member of the Arkansas Academy of Computer Science and Computer Engineering Board of Directors and has served as membership chair since 2017. Keith Bradshaw. Keith holds the title of Manufacturing Manager for West Fraser in the U.S. West region. He graduated with his Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering in 1987. He is a recognized expert in all facets of the sawmill industry and has designed and built machinery in many mills in the southeastern U.S., western U.S., British Columbia, eastern Canada, and in New England. One of his designs was shown in an episode of Modern Marvels featuring modern sawmills. Bradshaw has served on community and academic boards, including the Arkansas Academy of Mechanical Engineers and the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. Gerald Fielder. Gerald is Vice President of Product Management for Digital Transformation SAP Americas. He completed his Bachelor of Science in Computer Science in 1988. Fielder was a charter member of the University of Arkansas Academy of Computer Science and Computer Engineering and helped bring $1 million in research funds to the University of Arkansas while at Axion Corporation. General Dan Goodrich. Dan is the retired owner of DR Goodrich Solutions and a United States Air Force Brigadier General. He earned his Master of Science in Operations Management in 1983 and served his country for 30 years. General Goodrich held many positions, including Executive Assistant to Supreme Allied Commander Europe and Deputy Director of the USAF Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance. He now lives in Melbourne, Florida, where he is involved in the economic development of the Space Coast and Patrick Air Force Base. Brock Hoskins. Brock is President and Chief Executive Officer at Garver. He received his Bachelor's in Civil Engineering in 1989. In 2019, Hoskins was named one of Arkansas's most influential leaders by Arkansas Business Publishing Group. He has also played an important role in Garver's support of the Civil Engineering Research and Education Center. W. Kent McAllister. Kent is the principal of Bravo Zulu Project Solutions. In 1987, Kent completed his Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering. He has utilized his education for over 32 years in both the military and the oil and gas industry. McAllister was selected for the Naval Nuclear Power Program, where he was commissioned as an officer in the U.S. Navy. Kent is an active member of the Arkansas Academy of Chemical Engineers and the Dean's College of Engineering Advisory Council. Richard Penn. Richard is an Arkansas registered professional engineer, a certified floodplain manager, and a city engineer for the city of Sherwood. In 1982, he earned his Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Engineering and his Master's in Engineering in 1992. Penn serves communities across Arkansas while continuing to support the Biological and Agricultural Department. In 2012, Penn was named Public Works Professional of the Year by the Arkansas chapter of the American Public Works Association and Floodplain Manager of the Year by the Arkansas Floodplain Management Association. Malik Sadiq. After working for Tyson Foods for many years, Malik has recently accepted the role of Chief Operating Officer at Live Kindly Collective. He's completed 3 degrees at the University of Arkansas, a bachelor's in electrical engineering in 1988, a master's in industrial engineering in 1991, and a doctorate in 1993. Sadiq serves his community and is active in 2 alumni societies in the College of Engineering, the Arkansas Academy of Electrical Engineering, and the Arkansas Academy of Industrial Engineering. He is also a member of the college's Dean's Advisory Council and is a board member of the Islamic Society of Northwest Arkansas. Gopi Sirinimni. Gopi works for Qualcomm Technologies Incorporated as Vice President of Product Management. He graduated from the Electrical Engineering Department in 1996 with his master's degree. Sirinimni held positions as Design Manager, Senior Director, and General Manager. In 2010, Sirinimni started the engineering company Cloud Grapes, which was sold in 2011 to a large internet provider. He is a member of the Arkansas Academy of Electrical Engineers and has supported Dr. William Brown's Scholarship Endowment Program. The Distinguished Alumni Award winners from 2021 are Chris Baltz. Chris is a retired partner and CEO of Transportation Insights, LLC. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in 1988 from the Industrial Engineering Department. He's a community leader and member of the Arkansas Academy of Industrial Engineers. In 2016, Baltz was recognized with the College of Engineering Young Alumni Award, currently known as the Early Career Award. Matt Bodishba. Matt is the Vice President for CDI Contractors in the Northwest Arkansas Division. He earned his bachelor's in civil engineering in 1989 and was commissioned as an officer in the U.S. Navy Civil Engineer Corps later that year. After completing 4 years of active duty, Badishba completed over $500 million of new construction and renovation work at the University of Arkansas campus in Fayetteville while working at CDI. Mark Christie. Mark is currently the Director of Process Development for Simmons Foods Pet Food Division in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. He has completed 4 degrees at the University of Arkansas, a bachelor's in agricultural engineering, 1985, a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, 1988, a master's in biological and agricultural engineering, 2000, and a doctorate in poultry science, 2018. Christie is a registered professional engineer in the state of Arkansas who has made contributions to the biological and agricultural engineering academic programs through mentoring of senior design students. He is also an active member in the Arkansas Academy of Biological and Agricultural Engineering. Alan England. Alan is the Senior Scientist of Advanced Systems and Aviation Systems at L3 Harris Technologies in Plano, Texas. England holds 3 electrical engineering degrees from the University of Arkansas, his Bachelor of Science in 1985, Master's in 1986, and Doctorate in 1989. He has been a leader to professional teams and mission groups. The Englands are passionate about international missions. They have fostered multiple children for medical care that was not available to them in their home country. One of these children joined their family as their youngest daughter through adoption in 2008. Eugene Jenkins. Eugene is the Senior Project Manager for Electrical Consultants Incorporated and pastor of the Redeemed Missionary Baptist Church. Prior to his current role, he worked for Oklahoma Gas and Electric for over 30 years. Jenkins received his bachelor's in electrical engineering in 1986. He has been involved with the Arkansas Academy of Electrical Engineers, serving in different officer positions, including president. In addition, he has addressed senior students in capstone senior design courses about his professional experience. Margie McNeil. Margie is Vice President and Director of Compliance and Ethics for Flint Hill Resources and has been for 14 years. McNeil earned her Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering in 1991, striving to make a difference as an environmental engineer and to make people's lives better. She is an active alumna of the College of Engineering as a member of the Academy of Chemical Engineers and the Dean's Advisory Council. Jason Moore. Jason is currently a Senior Systems Engineer at Raytheon Technologies, an adjunct professor in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at SMU, and an Associate Professor of Computer Science at Collin College. Moore received a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science from the University of Arkansas in 2001. Moore gives back to his community by tutoring students where he previously attended college, and by encouraging high school students from rural areas to dream big. Jerry Newton. Jerry is the Chief Operating Officer for Ecofiber Limited. He received his Bachelor's in Mechanical Engineering at the University of Arkansas in 1995. In 2006, Newton was named as an Outstanding Young Alumnus in the College of Engineering, and he is now a member of the Arkansas Academy of Mechanical Engineering. The Newton family have made community and charitable service a priority wherever they have been located through 8 moves in 21 years, serving on a number of boards and in service and leadership positions at church and educational institutions. William Roy. William is the retired Vice President for Federal Express Corporation. He earned his Master's in Operations Management from the University of Arkansas in 1996. Before then, Roy served as an instructor for the University of Arkansas, developing and teaching graduate courses in operations management, and was named Outstanding Instructor in 2014. Roy was a member on executive and academic boards, and he spoke at keynotes, addresses, and commencements to encourage change to the transportation and IT industries.
Now, it's my pleasure to present the 2020-2021 inductees to the College of Engineering Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame was established in 1965 and is the highest honor bestowed by the College of Engineering. Members of the Hall of Fame have made a significant difference to the engineering profession and to society as a whole. Tonight, we are thrilled to be inducting Grady Harville and John White Jr. for 2020, and Jim McClellan Jr. and James McClellan Sr. for 2021 into the College of Engineering Hall of Fame. Please sit back and enjoy this video that will introduce inductee Grady Harville.
I grew up in North Arkansas, a little town called Lunenburg, which is about 7 miles south of Melbourne, Arkansas. I'm one of 8 kids. I'm the youngest. My father was a school teacher, a Baptist preacher, a bus driver, carpenter, was known as a jack of all trades. My mother was a housewife. She had 8 of us. None of my brothers and sisters had gone to college. My oldest brother was a plumber, and he pretty much insisted that I go to college. I decided to go to engineering school because of working with my dad on a construction job during the summer between my junior and senior year. We built an industrial building for McDonnell Douglas Aircraft in Melbourne, and I was a laborer on that job, so that piqued my interest in buildings and construction. And following my brother's advice and also a high school counselor, they encouraged me to become a civil engineer. The University of Arkansas was the only ABET accredited engineering school at that time in the state of Arkansas. So I wanted to stay in state, and I wanted to get my degree, and that was the place to go. So civil engineering is a very broad-based education, but I wanted to specialize in structures, and that's what I ultimately did. I approached college pretty much like a full-time job. I would go to class during the day, and I would start studying at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Made good grades, but it was due to the effort I put in and the study habits I developed. The habits that I learned in college have helped me throughout my career. Work hard, be prepared, and be diligent in your efforts. I went to work at AFCO with the goal of getting my professional engineer's license. After a couple of years of doing nothing but structural design work, I graduated on up through the ranks and became executive vice president. In 2015, we merged to become W&W AFCO Steel, and I'm currently the president and COO of W&W AFCO Steel. I owe what I am in life in large part to the University of Arkansas College of Engineering. And just as I received gifts of scholarships and funding when I was a student and needed it the most, I think it is an obligation I have to give back, and it's an honor for me to be able to give back. I'm privileged to be able to give back to the University of Arkansas, and I'm very humbled to be honored in the company that I'm being inducted into. It's a tremendous honor, and I am gratified to have achieved it. I never expected it, and I'm humbled to have it. And I thank them very much for it.
There you go. We got to practice with this. Brady's tall, and I'm tall. Okay, let's see. So, do a picture? Yeah, let's do a picture first. Let's do a picture. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Got too many pages here. You know, it's a great honor to become a member of the Engineering Hall of Fame. I want to extend my congratulations tonight to the Distinguished Alumni Award winners and the Early Career Award winners. I'm delighted to receive this honor tonight in the company of Chancellor White and my longtime friend, Jim McClellan, and his father, James. We accomplish very little in life by ourselves, so deciding tonight what to say was pretty easy for me. All of the success I've enjoyed in my life is due to the support of 3 families I've been lucky enough to have. And I want to accept this honor on behalf of those 3 families and to tell you a little bit about them. My first family is my birth family. My dad, Owen Harville, was my 4th grade teacher, my preacher, my bus driver, a carpenter, and a farmer. It was very hard to stay away from him. He started teaching in 1929 when a degree was not a requirement to teach school. He rode horseback to teach in 2-room schools during the 30s and the 40s. In the summers, he worked to farm, preached at revivals, and worked as a carpenter, or traveled with the family to Washington and Michigan to pick fruit. When the schools consolidated, he started teaching at Melbourne School. During that time, it became a requirement to have a degree. And my dad earned his degree going to school part-time from Arkansas College in 1956 after having taught for 27 years. He retired from teaching in 1968, but continued to preach and to work until his late 70s. Dad taught us to be independent, to work hard, and to be good to each other and our fellow man. Dad married my mom, Sybil Walker, in 1930 during the beginning of the Great Depression. Mom gave birth to 8 of us at home with only assistance of a midwife. She sewed our clothes, cooked our meals, worked in the fields, and grew 2 gardens every summer and canned the vegetables to get us through the winter. She did this while raising 8 of us without the modern conveniences we have in our lives today. Like Dad, Mom raised us to love one another, and she showed us through her efforts what hard work could accomplish. Mom and Dad were together for almost 63 years. My oldest brother, Wayne, who is here tonight, encouraged me to go to college. And without that encouragement, I would have most likely been a happy brick mason in Izard County. My wife, Linda Minton, joined our family in June of 1977 and has been invaluable to me ever since. And it wouldn't be a surprise to any of you to know she's more popular in my family than I am. My second family is the University of Arkansas College of Engineering and all my friends in the engineering profession. The first professor I met at the University of Arkansas was Dr. Charles Chuck Yanis. Dr. Yanis was notorious for being tough on students, and he worked very diligently to maintain that reputation. One of his favorite tricks was to put our test papers in the trash can outside his door and watch us dread to retrieve them to see how we'd fared on his test. Dr. Yanis believed in keeping things simple and arriving at the best design with the aid of a slide rule. The second professor I met was Dr. Jim Ramey. He had worked at Boeing and had assisted in the design of the structure of the 747 airplane. He was a believer in assigning tons of homework and he loved computers as much as Dr. Yanis loved his slide rules. I had the good fortune of taking a lot of classes under both of these professors. During my career, I've stayed connected to the University of Arkansas through activities with fellow graduates and the College of Engineering. My membership in the Academy of Civil Engineers and the Dean's Advisory Council created the avenue for me to become friends with many engineering graduates of different times and different disciplines, and to engage in giving back through scholarships and other support for the education of engineering students. This family's support enabled us to open the Civil Engineering Research and Education Center here this past July. My thanks go out to all of that family. In 1971, Dr. Yanis introduced me to Harold Engstrom, who was the vice president of AFCO Steel. Mr. Engstrom hired me, and I began my career with my third family in January of 1972. Harold was a great mentor and leader, and he started me on a career path that I would have never envisioned without him. W&W Steel purchased AFCO Steel in 2002. Rick Cooper, our CEO, is the latest among those whose leadership has allowed me to achieve this honor. His friendship, faith, and investment in our company have been a key to our success. Throughout my career, the WW AFCO team has supported me, and we have grown our business. I have 6 University of Arkansas civil engineers on that team here with me tonight. My heartfelt thanks goes out to my 3 families for all of your support over all of these years, as well as to our former Dean, John English, and our current Dean, Kim Meady. Thank all of you.
Thank you, Grady. That was just wonderful. We really appreciate it. Now we will watch John White Jr.'s Hall of Fame video.
Well, I'm the son of teachers in Arkansas. My mom and dad had over 70 years combined service in the public school systems of Arkansas. My mom was an elementary school teacher. My dad was an English teacher. We just seemed to move a lot because at that time, in order for you to get a pay raise, you had to change jobs. And so we moved all over the state. When I graduated from high school in Harrison, I went to the Missouri School of Mining and Metallurgy in Rolla, Missouri. I knew that I needed to change when I visited the University of Arkansas during spring break and was walking across the front lawn of Old Main and asked some people, "What's that?" And they said, "Girls," and I realized I needed to transfer. I was majoring in chemical engineering, and on Friday afternoons I was in the field gas analysis lab and could not go to the intramural football games with my fraternity brothers who had dates going to those games. So I knew I needed to get a different major. All engineering majors had Friday afternoon labs except for industrial engineering. And Nick Wiedemann, one of my fraternity brothers, said, "You ought to consider industrial engineering because the head of the department is a Sigma Nu." And that's the fraternity I was in, and this should really help you. So off I went to talk with Professor Emhoff. He told me about industrial engineering, and I realized that's what I wanted. When I completed my degree in the summer of 1961, off I went to Kingsport, Tennessee to work for Tennessee Eastman Company, and that's where I met Mary Lib, and off I went to graduate school at Virginia Tech, then Ohio State, and then back on the faculty at Virginia Tech, then to Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech to Arkansas, and I never thought I'd be a professor. I was going to be an engineer. I was going to go to work in industry. My sister was a math teacher, and I married a teacher. Her daughter's a teacher. I was an engineer. So when I became a teacher, I was accepted within the family. As you well know, I didn't want to be the Chancellor of the University of Arkansas. I was very happy being Dean of Engineering at Georgia Tech. So I looked each of the trustees in the eye and said, do not make me the offer unless you're committed to change. And I mean major change, because I'm an avowed change agent. I'm not interested in maintaining the status quo. And you won't see the day-to-day changes, but in 5 years you look back and you're going to say, wow, we've made a lot of changes, but in 10 years you're going to be stunned at the amount of changes that are going to occur, because I'm persistent. I'm also patient to a degree, but we're going to be able to accomplish an enormous amount. Being selected for the Engineering Hall of Fame at the University of Arkansas, it wasn't something that I expected or anything, but it is the highest honor I believe that I will have received during my 56 years as an engineering educator. But mostly, who I want to thank are the students I've had in class, because they were the wind beneath my wings. They allowed me to sail to heights that I never ever dreamed possible for little old John White from Snyder, Arkansas. So thank you to the students for putting up with me and making me feel like I made a difference in your lives, because you made a difference in mine. Me too. Love you. Yep. Big old bunch. Oh, we're doing a picture. I'm
just flustered.
Okay. Here we go. I enjoyed that so much. Let's do it again. Bill, I really like hugging your wife. Okay, it's time for truth. Really, it's time to set the record straight. I do not deserve this award. This award should go to Mary Elizabeth Quarles White. Now, I'll tell you who would agree with me. Our son and our daughter who are here. Oh, and by the way, I'm John Austin White Jr. He's John Austin White III, and yeah, his son, our grandson, is John Austin White IV. In fact, he's a senior over in the Walton College. And by the way, our daughter, her eldest, she came from Orlando, and she graduated from here at the University of Arkansas, over in political science, and she's now an attorney in South Carolina and in Columbia. I tried to get her to go to law school here, but she said, Randy, if I do that, my practice will be here. I'll be working with Walmart or Tyson or J.B. Hunt. I want my practice to be back in the Southeast. And so she's an all-women's law firm there in Columbia. Her client, by the way, is Walmart. Yeah, truth. But why did I say I don't deserve this? Well, John and Kim can testify that when they were young, Mary Lib took over everything and freed me up to just focus on my profession and to try to accomplish these things that seemed at the time so important to me. But over time I realized were not so important. But certainly my fraternity brothers, when I was here, they would agree that I didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame in engineering. I mean, after all, there were two of us, John A. Whites in the Sigma Nu fraternity. John Alfred White was from Monette, Missouri. At the time, my parents lived in Conway. So we called him Monette White, and they called me Conway White. And so when it was announced that John White was going to be the Chancellor of the University of Arkansas, all of my fraternity brothers said it must be Monette, because I was not all that great a student when I was here, but something changed. And what changed was I met Mary Lib. She's the engineer of our family. She majored in home economics, and you do not realize that's domestic engineering. And so she taught me a lot about what it was to be an engineer. But now let's get right down to it. I've had so much help along the way, and particularly during the things that they talked about here with respect to the campaign for the 21st century. What made that successful was all of those people who joined hands and pulled the same direction, pulled on that rope. I just happened to be the person who believed it was possible. And I don't think anyone else really believed it was possible, but I believed it was possible. And after all, Allison, through the looking glass, says the only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it's possible. And I believed. And I believe that the University of Arkansas has not begun to see what the future is going to be for her, and it's going to be incredible. And I know that's true because of seeing those people who walked across this stage this evening, the early career winners. We've got something really magic going on here in Northwest Arkansas. And it's been the best kept secret for a long time, but that secret's getting out. And I just want to thank all of you for supporting the University of Arkansas, and particularly I want to thank John English, who was my dean, also Kim Meady, who was my department head. And she's incredible. I stepped down from being chancellor to take a 6-month sort of sabbatical to get ready to come back and be on the faculty and teach graduate courses and all. And she came in to be the department head. And she didn't know me from Boo, and I didn't know her from Boo either. I came back in January, and she was the new department head. And I was determined that I was going to be a good faculty member, that I believed that having been a leader, I knew how important it was to be a follower. And so I was going to be a committed, dedicated follower. And I tried hard, but she came to see me not too long after I was back, came to my office, said, "We need to talk about something." I said, "What's that?" And she said, "I know you think you're just another faculty member, but you're not." I said, "Well, of course I am." She said, "Oh, no, you're not." There's some faculty in the department who will not say a word in our meetings until they know where you stand on issues. I think it would be best if you spoke last. Now, that would be a first for me. But I said, I agree, so I said, I'll sit to your right in the meetings. Let's go around the table clockwise, and I'll be the last to speak. She said, that's good. Such sensitivity. We are so privileged to have her as our dean. Thank you, Kim, for coming from Pittsburgh and joining us and becoming a member of the A-team. Yeah, I love it when a plan comes together, and she's the best thing about our plan. Thank you all very much. God bless you.
Thank you, John. Love you. Let's now watch our final video featuring Jim McClellan Jr. and his late father, James McClellan Sr.
My father was the fourth of 5 children. They were raised here in Fayetteville. He was raised right over here on Store Street. His father was a professor of agronomy in the agriculture department. When he came to the university, he played basketball as a freshman, and then he studied music and engineering. When he got out of the university and married my mother, the war erupted. He was called up. He was an officer, and he was sent to Aberdeen Proving Grounds up in Baltimore, Maryland, where he was in charge of testing the largest mortar cannon ever built by the United States Army, called the Little David. Then he came back to Arkansas and formed McClellan Consulting and Construction Company. Well, growing up in Fayetteville, we were so immersed with the university, my grandfather teaching, my parents having gone to school here, and going through the campus every day to high school. It was just a natural thing. As young people, we would sell programs and soft drinks at the football games. So we attended all the games, and it was just part of the community. And so why would I go anywhere else? When I was in college and all the civil engineering students were together, none of us could spell very well. It was kind of a joke. And so we called ourselves, instead of CE, civil engineers, we called ourselves SIs for civil engineers. And I never knew it, but my father got that joke, because there's a photograph that has a picture of my mother and dad going to a party, and he's holding a wheelbarrow. And the caption at the bottom of the picture says, SI at work. When I graduated in 1967, I went in the Army Reserve on active duty, and when I completed that, I moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I worked for a company called Melberger Engineers, became the vice president of their company. I worked for them for 10 years, and then I wanted to work with my father, and so I opened an office of his company at Little Rock. And I ran it for a number of years, and then in 1986, my father retired. We moved the company headquarters from Fayetteville to Little Rock, where the headquarters are still there. And a guiding principle that I learned early on is that what keeps me interested in engineering in Arkansas is because we work in different places for different people doing different things. And so it just keeps your interest up, because there's always a challenge for you. In fact, I have on my desk a slogan that I have adhered to my whole career, and that is, Arkansas is always first. I would certainly like to thank former Dean and now Vice Chancellor John English, who allowed me to serve on his advisory committee and his campaign committee and be the co-chairman of the campaign that was so successful for the university. It has been an honor to serve with him and become his friend. My family and I have been so delighted to provide scholarships here at the university for the last 25 years, and it will go on. And we're so pleased at our company that we've been able to employ over 200 civil engineering students while they're in school, to give them practical experience and financial assistance, because we want to give back to the university. And so to have my father and me inducted at the same time with my uncle already in the Hall of Fame is so very, very special.
Do this first. Can we put this on first? Yeah, okay. And then...
Let Linda hold this one.
Linda? Oh, that one, okay.
Okay.
Want a
You
picture?
stand right here in the middle?
Well, why don't you come, you go there. Yeah, there we go. You send it to your sister. To have Jim and his brother and sister that are here with us today. So Jim, do you want to maybe approach the podium, please? Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Raymond.
So growing up here in Fayetteville, when I was a youngster, we loved rock and roll music. We still do. And we didn't follow Elvis Presley in the late 50s and early 60s. we followed a guy named Ronnie Hawkins, who was from Fayetteville, and was not a one-hit wonder, but he had some really good songs, and he owned a nightclub south of town. And we would go out on Saturday night to the Rockwood and watch Ronnie Hawkins, and he would come up to the microphone, he would grab the mic, and he'd say, "This is big time, Bill." Look out in the audience, and I never learned who Bill was, but tonight is big time, okay? This is big time for all of us. And congratulations to all the recipients tonight. What a wonderful thing. I want to introduce the people at my tables tonight. First, the captain of our team, Pat McClellan. She's put up with me for 56 years, and I appreciate her so very, very much. My brother, who was on the stage with me, Raymond, and his wife, Deanna. My sister, Linda, and her husband, Joe. My son, Kirk, and his wife, Julie. And at our table is Daniel and Melanie Barnes. Daniel runs our office here in Fayetteville and does a wonderful job. Then we have another table over here, and we have some McClellan engineering people that worked with my father, and I'm so glad that they would come and honor him and honor me tonight. Robert and Virgie White are here. Raise your hand there, thank you. Wayne Jones is here. Kevin Beaumont and Lisa are here. Stephen Head and Hillary are here. And we have a special guest, Bert and Robin Parker. And Bert is not a McClellan engineer, but he is a guy that worked so hard with Grady and me and others to raise money and get C-REC developed and built. And I'm so glad he would drive up from Little Rock to be with us here tonight. So. If my father were here, of course, he would be delighted. He would be just amazed that he'd be honored and be so happy to be here. But he would sing to you because he was a great baritone. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a baritone. I'm not going to sing. But I do want to thank everyone tonight and tell you that we are so honored. Our family is so honored to honor my father and to honor me. So thank you so much.
Jim, I'm mistaken. I need you to come back up. I need you to come back. I'd like to invite Grady and John back up too. We want to get a quick picture of our 3 Hall of Famers, and your dad will be in our thoughts as well, Jim. So let's just get the 3 of them, and then, there you go.
Put him in the middle.
And then to my left and to your right, we'll invite past Hall of Famers to greet our newest inductees as they exit the stage. This is kind of a time-honored tradition, and I'm so glad that despite the pandemic, we have several of our members here tonight. So thank you. And we'll get some additional pictures, I think, afterwards, I hope. So the evening is winding down, folks, but I have to say that every year I'm amazed at what our alumni have accomplished. From our early career award recipients to our distinguished alum recipients and to our Hall of Famers. It's incredible to come together each year and reflect on the impact that the College of Engineering alumni are having on the state and really the world. Thank you for all being here this evening as we celebrate these outstanding individuals. I'd also like to thank my co-hosts, John Miller and Charles Zimmerman, for joining me here on stage this evening. Also, thank you to Interim Provost Terry Martin for being with us, and to all of our special guests. I'd like the College of Engineering staff to please stand, and I want to offer our special thanks to them. They made this event possible. They put in so much time and energy into planning and executing the event, and as you know, the event took on many different forms and varieties as we were trying to figure out how to do this. So if you could all please stand and let us thank you. And finally, thank you to all of our awardees this evening, not just for traveling here to be with us, but for your exemplary leadership and continued dedication to the College of Engineering. We wish the very best for all of our students when they leave the University of Arkansas, and so it's so rewarding when we can celebrate the success of our outstanding alumni. This concludes our evening. Please travel safely, stay well, and we look forward to celebrating again with you this coming spring. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.